What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Mets took the series from the Braves.
Great series.
Great series. Great weekend. Maybe one of the best weekends of all time. Depends if you care about the New York Knicks. Me and James do. Of course, we'll do Knicks Corner at the end. The Knicks are the NBA champions, though. We do have to say that very quick and at the beginning. But Mets took a series from the Braves. Didn't think they had a shot. Played really good baseball this weekend. Frustrating, but also cool at the same time. We'll talk about it, of course, as we always do. Before we get going into it, make sure you are subscribed to Mets'd over on YouTube to see the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. I know it's not the main thing this weekend, James, but a great series by the New York Mets.
Fantastic series. The Mets won both of the games, the series against the Braves, that they actually played all of their starting caliber players. Because the one game they lost on Saturday, they like to play in hard mode against left-handed pitchers sometimes with Vidal Brujan and Eric Wagman and Mark Vientos, who had just even in that one game, he had like 9 games in of itself. But it's like one uplifting and frustrating at the same time to watch this Mets team string together enough good quality baseball to make you believe in the moment, but also understanding how deep the hole is to not actually be willing to believe overall, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that is what makes it frustrating is like we've talked about this and we even said it early on the season when this team plays well, or even like when you see this team play the way that they were supposed to this year, which I think since the losing streak, James, you told me right before we got onto this, the Mets are about 2 games above 500 since the losing streak.
Yeah.
So they're a borderline playoff team. When they play the baseball that seemed like was envisioned by David Stearns in the front office, you can understand why they should have been a good team. But the problem is that they dug themselves into such a deep hole that 32 and 39, like it doesn't matter that the Mets have won 6 of their last 10. It doesn't matter that they took from the Padres, they took from the Braves, they've taken some good series. They still find a way to just be so far on the outside looking in. But at the same time, really, really good series against the Braves. People were dogging me in the Discord, as you should, but I didn't give this Mets team a shot. I thought we were going to get destroyed, and because we didn't, and because we won the series, I will give them a tip of the cap, a little more dog than I thought that they had.
A little bit more dog than I thought they had, fighting through some bad pitching from, again, guys that are meant to be in the front of your staff. Also, as we talked about being in the ballpark on Sunday, this Braves lineup is a bit toothless without Ronald Acuna Jr. right now.
Yeah.
Like, Matt Olson's fantastic. Michael Harris had an amazing season. Austin Riley's a shell of his former self. Dominic Smith hit, 5th? Like, it's not exactly the lineup, like a murderer's row that you looked for to a team that actually has the best record in baseball.
I mean, do I have the right to say that, like, Michael Harris's 842 OPS is a little inflated?
I don't know. Michael Harris does this, though. Like, this is he might get cold.
Stretches, yeah.
He might get cold at the end of the season, and that will drift down. Michael Harris also is just not striking out. He never really strikes out very much. He also never walks. He's walking just enough more right now to, I think, counterbalance the whole thing. Again, Michael Harris is a great player. The Braves are a very good team. It's a little different than Ronald Acuna is my only point. And that Braves bullpen is disgusting. But
very good.
I think that what we've talked about a lot, especially on the windup, is that the Braves feel like a paper tiger contender. And a big reason for that is because I don't believe in their starting pitching the way that their stats would dictate how they've played so far this season. And we saw that instantly on Friday night where we just jumped all over Spencer Strider, who wound up leaving to start with an injury. But for Spencer Strider's entire career, the Mets have completely owned him. And in this game, a guy like Bichette, who has been struggling so poorly, to just set the tone for the series with 2 home runs in the first 2 innings. Bichette had 6 hits in this series. Bichette's OPS jumped up from 606 to 647, I think, by the end of it.
My OPS watch is looking great right now. I'm looking like I might have timed it perfectly.
He really saved the day by actually going crazy this series because last series was very bad. But six hits in the series and being a driver at the top of the lineup was the entire Bichette vision. And to watch him play up to his standards and then watch how the team plays and performs when that happens, you're like, oh, if he hits, I think we'll probably win games.
Dude, were the 2 home runs on breaking balls again? I feel like the first one was a lazy breaking ball, if I remember correctly.
I think it was just a hanger.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy, like, just to talk about the Braves and Strider for a second. I hate Spencer Strider, but that's just because he's a Brave and went to Clemson. So, like, those are 2 of my least favorite teams in all of sports. But, like, it is crazy to see the fall off that he's had, and the injuries are a big part of it, obviously. He doesn't have the same life on the fastball. The breaking stuff is still not even as sharp as it once was. This was a guy who, when he was fully healthy, was one of the 10, 15 best pitchers in the league. The Mets still...
10, 15? He's one of the 3 best pitchers in the league.
Some people didn't. Some people still weren't a huge fan of his. Listen, we had him pretty high on our rankings back in those days. But, like, conservatively, top 10, top 15 pitcher in the league when he was really churning. the injuries have derailed him, and he's got nothing. Like, I know he's hurt again, possibly, which hope he's healthy. Don't want anything bad to happen to him, but the stuff's just unappetizing. Like, he doesn't got it.
You don't want to eat the stuff?
Don't want to eat. I mean, you want to eat if you're the hitter. If you're a hitter, you're excited to face Spencer Strider now, where in the past, that was a difficult task.
Yeah, and like we said before, that first home run from Bichette was a hanging slider that was just belt high on a platter. The second one was, I'm going to get this exactly right, it was an 0-1 fastball, again, belt high, 94 miles an hour, with the bases loaded, 0-1 fastball down the dick. And that's just, as a hitter like Bichette, even while he struggled, still a professional hitter, still a very good hitter, crushed that. And the Mets jumped all over Strider again, upsetting that he was injured, but especially in a game where then J.R. Ritchie came in and just shut the Mets down for 5 consecutive innings. It was nice to jump out to the big lead. Let us all watch USA Soccer get a big win, the first match of the World Cup, but just kind of take over the game and let yourself get to a spot where even when Nolan McLean was poor again, just kind of had a, I won't say stress free because it got a little crazy at the end of the game, but just be able to kind of grind through a victory and have it nice and easy.
Yeah, great at-bats from Bo. Great at-bats all around, honestly. I think, like...
Besides J.R. Ritchie.
Yeah, besides J.R. Ritchie. He did shut us down in the end. But, like, truthfully, to be able to put up a crooked number is always great. To get a win is great. To have the bullpen do enough is great. We do have to talk about Nolan McLean, though. Again, more. It's getting worse. I know, like, again, I was catching a little shit from people on Twitter by saying Nolan McLean's not pitching well. Because, again, there are people who are either ERA or they don't actually listen to what either of us say when we do say it. Just because Nolan McLean isn't pitching well doesn't mean I don't think he's a good pitcher. I think Nolan McLean is going to be a great pitcher for this team. That has not changed. My confidence in him has not wavered. But right now, the version of Nolan McLean that we are seeing is struggling. He is walking so many guys. I think we're up to like 20 walks in his last like 30 innings or something like that.
I mean, we felt it in that, specifically the second inning on Friday, where I think it was a 42-pitch inning, if my memory serves me. And you don't really see 40-pitch innings in baseball that often. It was the kind of inning where you almost felt like, is he going to leave him out there at times? And it felt like that when 2 runs were in, the bases were still loaded, and nobody was out. And Mauricio Dubon gave us a gift by chasing a 3-1 fastball to get a pop-up on the infield, again, with the bases loaded and only 1 out at that point. But McLean right now is at the point where it just feels like he's not getting around those breaking balls like he once was. Like, he's still getting some swing and misses. He dropped one really nice front hip sinker to Matt Olson with 2 strikes, but it's just not, there's not the same bite. There's not the hitters don't have the same kind of, I don't know if fear is the word, aversion, but it felt like hitters were in the box before very afraid of Nolan McLean's breaking stuff. And now it feels like they're kind of more prepared for it, more aware of what they're going to see. And it doesn't feel like he's really, the word's not surprise. It just doesn't feel like Nolan McLean is inspiring that same kind of, I keep saying fear in these hitters, where now it feels like they can spit on something and just wait for one of the fast things to come and kind of try and get around on it afterwards.
Can you get me like maybe a couple quick stats here about Nolan McLean over the last month or so, where like, is his chase down? Are people just being more patient? Because something that we've always talked about is that, like, a positive that made McLean so good and why, like, Pitching Ninja and all these guys love him, the tunneling's so good that you basically are guessing. And if you're guessing against Nolan McLean, you're having to make a decision, and the decision's usually wrong because the stuff is so nasty. Are guys just not swinging as much, too? Is that part of it?
Yeah, I had this on a video on my channel recently where I was talking about we should panic about guys. And I broke down the game logs of Nolan McLean about his zone rate, his chase rate, his zone swing and miss rate recently. And I'm pulling that right up now on Fangraphs again. Because this start, I felt like he actually was getting more chase. I really felt like it was just that second inning that spun him out. Yeah. Like, when you have a 40-pitch inning, it's really difficult to get deep into that game.
Very difficult.
And even if you take that pitch out, that inning out, even the other 3 innings were about 50 pitches. So it's like kind of efficient, not super efficient. It's just not the same crispness, not the same sharpness. And it is a lot about the hitters chasing less, even though they did a little bit more so in this one. But it's also about making pitches. He's not really doing that in any way, shape, or form right now. And it's fair to be concerned about Nolan McLean in the short term, while reiterating what you said before, not really trying to go too deep overboard about worrying about Nolan McLean in the long term.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy, like, looking back on it. Since May 14th, Nolan McLean has a 5.81 ERA. Walked 19 guys in 31 innings, allowed 20 earned runs, striking out 31. So, like, the K rate's way down, the walk rate's way up, the runs that he allows per game and in every inning is way up. It's just,
he's getting fouled off more a lot.
Interesting.
That's something that's annoying.
So maybe guys are just giving him B swings.
It's contact that's outside of the zone. Maybe it is just maybe it's respecting Nolan McClain more.
Could be a respect thing.
It's also a thing where we keep talking about Nolan McClain a cold spell, Nolan McClain a cold spell. It's basically half the season at this point. It's kind of like since the beginning of May. That start against the Diamondbacks is the one that kind of began this. Really, the start against the Tigers.
The Tigers one's the one I'm talking about. Even though that was a 7-inning start, but like I think everybody and their mother who watched that game would be like, Nolan McClain was like a dog for giving us 7 innings. There's never a doubt about the dog of Nolan McClain. But that game, we saw that he just didn't have his way with the lineups like he had in his prior starts.
I do wonder, I was talking to my guy Jack on Twitter about this, if there's something about Nolan McClain in the future where it's like, I understand him being such a supinator, him being such a spin guy, a breaking ball guy. If maybe him throwing the changeup, he doesn't feel as comfortable with that pitch, but it did feel like in the start here where he wasn't really able to land the curveball or the sweeper or even the cutter very consistently. If he can turn to that changeup, and that can be a tertiary weapon for him once in a while, just because. And again, maybe it can. Maybe it's just him having a little bit of reluctancy or reticence to do so. It just feels like this is watching a pitcher grow up, and the fact that he's able to be relatively effective is something. The fact that we're able to jump on Spencer Strider, win a game where Nolan McClain again could only give us 4 innings is fine. Even a game where Brooks Raley, who's normally very, very, very efficient, doesn't pitch very well. Devin Williams gives up an inherited base runner. Devin Williams has a 14-pitch battle against Mauricio Dubon. It's nice to see the team pick him up, something we've talked about the team not doing over the course of the year, but still just kind of wishing, especially when Freddie keeps looking the way he is, wanting that version of Nolan McClain that we saw that we got to experience early on.
Yeah, we're going to want to talk about Freddie then and jump around to Game 3 real quick since you mentioned him.
Yeah, this is not going to be the most orderly podcast we've ever done.
No, I mean, come on, next one, the NBA Finals.
It's a big weekend here, but again, Freddie, it's a start where and it happened this entire series. We weren't missing enough bats.
No,
and this Braves team, it's not that again they're a very good lineup, not the best lineup in the world. And
they
Freddie
don't
Peralta
swing and miss often, right?
Not really, but not like super extreme where it's like, oh, they never will. Like Freddie, the velocity was back. It felt like the curveball and the changeup were back, but it's just he's not. It's just there's no sharpness on it. He doesn't really have the right command. He started off bad, and he had to fight through the middle innings, and the 5th was troublesome again. It's just like why can't this be easier?
I also think it's so strange too, where like you can feel the wall that Freddie Peralta hits every single start. It's noticeable. It was after that 2-out hit to Sandy Leon. Then I think he followed up by walking Michael Harris, I think, on 4 straight pitches.
Yes.
And it's just like you can feel it every single time for Freddie. You know when it's going to happen. And he did push through it. He got through it, which is huge.
He pushed through it a little bit. He pushed through in that specific inning.
In that specific inning, yeah.
He still only got to 90 pitches, and Carlos Mendoza, and I don't think it was a bad decision, still didn't rightfully feel confident in him to even send it back out for the 6th. And it was a kind of thing, too, where if Ronald Acuna was atop the Braves lineup instead of Michael Harris with Mauricio Dubon backing him up, you felt like that could have run into a lot more trouble. And the bottom of this Braves lineup is abominable.
Abysmal.
It's one of the worst bottom 3 in baseball.
Mike Yastrzemski. Remember I was dogging Mike Yastrzemski all offseason.
Yeah, and he's still a league average hitter, which is all I ever said.
I mean, yeah, he's like still better than Bo Bichette.
And yeah,
OPS is higher.
Still better than Bo Bichette. Damn. He also is an unbelievable doppelganger for Max Fried.
But only very quickly in a very specific way. Because if you did put pictures of them next to each other, nothing alike.
Yeah, caught me incredibly off guard, but it's amazing that when you looked at the series at the beginning of it and you saw the 3 pitchers the Mets had scheduled, that Sean Manaea was by far the most effective and just the best by the eye test as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane that Sean Manaea is in this series. I mean, him and Martin Perez were the 2 best pitchers this entire series, which is crazy to say.
Dude, Martin Perez. I told you guys about Martin Perez heading into this, and he just diced us up. I think we were all very nervous watching the Mets game. We kind of watched the Mets game on Saturday to pass the time, more so than to watch it actively, but Martin Perez is doing exactly what Martin Perez does, working the edges, manipulating sinkers and cutters and changeups. He was fantastic, but Manaea was awesome. And
that version of Sean Manaea is sick.
That was the kind of game that you would need the Mets to steal to actually realistically try to get back in the race. Because we were talking about it with friends this weekend where this Mets team is playing slightly better than 500 ball. It's probably a slightly better than 500 team based on the true talent. But because you have a 12-game losing streak that's weighing you down like a fucking anchor attached to your damn ankle, you need like an 8, 9, 10-game win streak at some point to ever actually conceivably get back in a race. And again, the Knicks have taught all of us a valuable lesson over the last few weeks. You never quit, you never die, you never give up. You try hard every single second. But that's the game on Saturday where you have base runners. You get a rally going in the 9th inning. That freaking fan in left field taps the ball with his fucking ring finger. But that's one you have to steal and try and sweep the Braves if you actually want to get back in the race. And they just couldn't really pull it out.
Crouch, you know I travel all the time, and I'm always looking for possible tickets to go see events, concerts, MLB games. When I do, I always find SeatGeek.
Yeah, I'm not traveling, so pretty much I'm looking for the games all in my area. I'm going to look for an Orioles game. I'm going to look for the Phillies game, the Mets game, the Yankees game. But you know what else is coming up? The All-Star game. SeatGeek's got me.
Hey, you're going to need them tickets to the All-Star game. It's going to be crazy. Hey, they have over 35 million downloads for a reason. It's because they have everything you need. Green dots, red dots. You pick your seat, see the scene from your seat. It's the best app going for tickets. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code Territory10 for 10% off your next set of MLB tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any MLB tickets with promo code Territory10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek.
Yeah, like it was nothing of the fault of Sean Manaea. It was nothing of the fault of the bullpen. The Mets just
A little bit Mark Vientos.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I guess he made up for it because he got that hit then, but then
And
he
RBI.
also, he then also continued to hit into double plays and have some of the worst at bats ever. But again, I'm not trying to be negative in this episode. Like, your pitching gives up 3 runs. You have a pretty damn good chance to win the game. And for the Mets to only score 1, and again, the Juan Soto thing, that, like, super unlucky. Fans, we've got to get to the point where we stop reaching over like that. I know it's a reaction, and the guy didn't do it with any malice, but, like,
No.
there's got to be some sort of like awareness at this point. It's been like 20 years since Bartman. We know what the rules are.
Yeah, no, definitely. But want to take a silver lining from this game at all, being that like Sean Manaea actually looks good.
Sean, as much as me and you are like out on David Peterson, like okay, Sean Manaea is making me feel better, making me feel so much better now.
And it's the fact that he's doing things that I felt like he was doing in 2024, where the command is back. He's actually able now, at least the fastball's 92. The way he can tunnel now, the fastball, the cutter, and the sweeper off each other, and he could make righties kind of try and pinhole themselves up and away, and they can't react on time to actually get to that fastball again because now it's 92, and that backdoor sweeper is just close enough where he's making them swing at it. Like it was. And it's away from the things that we kind of tried to like and tried to find the positives when he was completely in a pit early on. Where he was like, oh, he's mixing in more changeups and 2-seamers. Who gives a fuck? No. Sean Manaea throwing 4-seam fastballs with a good extension and sweepers with just enough colors to keep hitters honest. I was like, this is a nice version of Sean Manaea. And,
No, that version's great. Like,
and he was great.
A 4.5 ERA, Sean Manaea, is a version that we can live with every 5 days, especially if this offense plays like they did in the other 2 games. It's just Sean Manaea got paired up with the game where only Juan Soto and Bo Bichette showed up at the plate.
Yeah, but that's fine. Again, Juan Soto and Bo Bichette theoretically on a daily basis should be good enough to do everything at the plate. And
Yes.
I was so frustrated with the Michael Harris insurance home run off of Austin Warren, who we still love Austin Warren. Definitely reverting back to form a little bit recently.
I think the like 70% sliders that he's throwing are really starting to catch up a little bit.
But yeah, it got to a spot where when that Juan Soto home run was reversed, I was like, no, because if that Michael Harris home run would have been the difference in the game, wound up not being because we couldn't really hit it off. Squaver's horrible double play to end the game, but at least it got to we're at a point now where Sean Manaea should be in this rotation, and we shouldn't feel that bad about it. It was really only Eli White who's kind of he's kind of put himself in the rat fuck radar after this.
He's on the radar for sure because he's not good and he does just show up against the Mets. He hits lefties. That's his job there. The Braves have such a weird little fucking lineup. You mentioned like the guys that are in there. We joke about the Mets playing on hard mode. It did feel like the Braves also chose to play on hard mode in this game too.
Yeah, I was going to say the flip side of this is that it was frustrating, and we all felt that when that lineup came out on Sunday. Oh, we're facing a lefty. Let's let the bad players play.
Yeah, it's the lineup being, I mean, Mark Vientos hitting 4th is insane, and then Simeon 5, which Simeon's been swinging better again. We know Alvarez 6, and then Wagaman, Melendez lefty, Vidal Brujan. Shout out Melendez getting a hit, but like.
Dude, Simeon has 7 home runs since May 6th, and still somehow has an OPS that's below 750 since then too.
What?
Yeah, isn't that insane?
That doesn't make any sense.
None. He basically doesn't have any really hits or walks besides those home runs.
That checks. I mean, hit a home run today too for us. So
yeah, great. Back-to-back home runs. It was awesome. Again, this was an objectively a good series, and we should be feeling better about this team after this weekend than we did feeling about it beforehand. But it's these little tiny things that you can't get over about what's stopping this team from actually getting to the next level and getting themselves to a point where they can get back in the season. It's also, again, You felt that during some of those Knicks possessions. You miss it, but when the Knicks were getting back into that game, especially on Saturday, it's like a ball kind of rattles around the rim and bounces out. You're like, that's a good shot, good process.
Good process,
Keep that going.
yeah.
Where when the Mets lost the game, you're like, that was actually a winnable game. And then Friday, the Mets won a game by the skin of their teeth. It felt like not much went well, but after the first 2 innings, you're like, it's just not cohesive. It's not together. It's not really nice to watch.
No, but then you see a game like we do on Sunday, and Cy Young Bryce Elder on the mound, and the Mets finally get to his ass. Throw it again, Bryce Elder. Thank God we finally hit this dude, because I know there's been some little changes that you said, and he's probably a better pitcher than the versions that we've seen in the past. But Bryce Elder still is a nothing sandwich. He's a nothing burger. He's a guy who, on most teams, is going to be like a 4 or 5 starter, back end of the guy, fighting for a roster spot like he was for the Braves coming into the season, again, because he was so bad last year. It's great to see. OPS watch, Carson Bench, over 700. A.J. Ewing, OPS watch, over 700. Bo Bichette, OPS watch, almost at 650. Like, we're starting to see the offense churn a little bit more consistently. We've talked about it, too. The guys are kind of hitting in the same spot every single day, which seems to maybe be helping some guys. It was fun to watch and be at the stadium coming off of the Knicks championship, feeling 10 feet tall. Nothing can make me upset. And then to go and watch the Mets hit Bryce Elder, what a great 48 hours.
Yeah, similar to you talking about Stat Watch. This was the start where Bryce Elder finally got his ERA over 3, which thankful for watching that one, as the fantasy baseball comments have been amazing about me not giving respect to Bryce Elder. And it is
It's your Andrew Abbott of last year.
I mean, look how Andrew Abbott's pitching this year.
Not
like
great.
That, yeah, no, not at all. But it did feel like you were 10 feet tall. The energy into the field was very funny on Sunday, just because it felt like everyone was thinking about the Knicks. Shout out my guy Terrence in the at the beer stand behind home plate up in the upper deck. He's from Harlem. He was talking about the Knicks, how excited he was about the Knicks. Talked to him for like half an inning while RJ was getting some food that back there. It was fun being around. And this Mets team, like Carson Bench keeps getting hits. Bo Bichette keeps getting hits. Juan Soto, the bat is back. Like Jared Young takes amazing at-bats. A.J. Ewing, thankfully, has turned a corner after a really bad stretch. It felt like everyone was thinking, even Brett Beatty got hits. Brett Beatty was on base 4 times on Sunday. Brett Beatty played.
You got to get in the stadium more, dude. This is the U effect. Brett Beatty needs James Shiano in the stadium.
I'm 6-0 in Citi Field this year, which is statistically completely improbable. Brett Beatty also had some really nice defensive plays this series. He saved I'm not going to say he saved the game on Friday night with that diving stop, because he didn't really get an out, but if that ball would have gotten in the corner, things would have been very different for Devin Williams in the 8th inning. He's still not playing well. He's still on track to probably head to the bench in 2 weeks when Francisco Lindor's back, because he did full baseball activities this whole weekend. But I don't know. It's very annoying to watch this team play and realize that, I guess, either one, if Juan Soto did not get injured, or 2, if you didn't have a 12-game losing streak. Those 2 things were closely related, but they both did happen, so they're both real. And you weren't 8 games under 500. You wound up being just 3 games over 500. It'd be very easy to see this team sneaking in the back of the wild card spot like we've done a few years over the past few, but you need a 10-game win streak to ever get the season back on track. And the way this team plays every single day, it's hard to actually see that happening.
This was one of those games where I was like, man, like, it would feel so sick right now if Francisco Lindor was coming back for like this next series. Like, if we had Lindor back right now, I could convince myself to be positive and be happy, and like, we might have a shot here, like, to just catch some lightning, catch a spark, get hot. The Reds are playing really, really bad baseball. I'll do a season or a series preview for them here in a second, but it's one of those where it's like, we really are still just missing that, the little bit of extra to make me fully believe in this team being capable to be competitive.
He's coming back again. Like
I know, I just want it now.
Yeah, we've all indications that within 2 weeks, Francisco Lindor will be back in this lineup. And if this is actually really the page turning for Bo Bichette, and he's actually a good baseball player again, which would, like we told you guys in the last episode, talk about the blame pie for the Mets this year. If Bo Bichette is regular Bo Bichette, this team is very back to being very good instantly. Yes. I have no doubt about that at all, which is kind of funny to say, but it's just, I still just can't believe on a day-by-day basis to actually get ourselves a spot. And it is
still
interesting.
Inconsistent.
I do want to keep an eye, especially when Lindor comes back, and we'll see what actually winds up happening with Jorge Polanco if he comes back without defensive aptitude, or not defensive aptitude, the ability to play defense. If Juan Soto continues to DH so much, I think that's something that's kind of flown under the radar, that Juan Soto continues to DH on a very, very regular basis, so I'm keeping an eye on that one as well. But this team feels almost ready to get on a run, but I just can't believe it.
Yeah, no, I won't believe it until I see it. It's really that easy. And what was the other thing I wanted to say? It was about Bo Bichette. Oh, I know what it was. Bob Nightingale. You see his tweet today?
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
I mean, let's think about it from the Bo Bichette perspective for a second.
Because it has to be leaked from his guy.
Of course, but he was very much on the precipice of signing a 7-year contract when the Mets swooped in with an offer literally so good he could not refuse, and one that was so good that the players' union was like, "Oh hell yeah, that's going in our back pockets."
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it is. I do think the one thing that keeps driving me home about this team, go away from Bichette for a second, is the fact that this bullpen continues to just be nails.
Really good.
Nails. Between Wasco
Daniel
Brazoban,
Duarte.
Daniel Duarte, Marisol was on the mic on Sunday. It was awesome. But, like, Devin Williams, we said it the other day, besides for, like, 4 of the worst blow-ups you've ever seen in your life, he still looks like an awesome closer most of the time. Luke Weaver gives up no runs anymore. Wasco Brazoban is fucking nails. Like, Brooks Raley's a little bit more hit or miss, but he's still a fantastic reliever. AJ Minter being back has been a massive boost.
I just want to boom so bad for AJ Minter. Every single time I hear him, I want to boom, but the Mets are under 500. Can't boom until over 500.
No, the fact that this bullpen is good, if Bo Bichette hits, and then please, Freddie and Nolan McClain, just get it back together, man. Can, like, I think Freddie's closer than Nolan, if I can be honest about that. Is that crazy to say?
No, I don't think it's crazy. The only reason, like, both sides here. One, like, Freddie, I don't think was good today, but was good enough. And that's the floor that he needs to be at. I don't think we've seen Nolan hit that good enough floor just yet over the last month.
No, at least with Freddie, it feels like when things are going wrong, he can refocus in an easier way, where he kind of reverts back to early career Freddie, where he's like, I'm just going to try to throw fastballs in the strike zone. You're probably not going to hit it anyway, and I have enough different, again, even whatever's going on with the slider, the fact that every lineup gets stacked with lefties against him anyway. The changeup and the curveball are good enough and relatively consistent enough that he gets through innings, just not pretty. Where Nolan, it feels like, I don't know how Nolan gets back to the elite level until he can get those spinners back where he wants them to go, unless he dramatically starts to trust that changeup more than he has. But it all gets saved by this bullpen day in and day out, and you do kind of hope that, again, in Nick's fashion, by the time this bullpen starts to regress back to its mean, this rotation is back to a spot where it's at its mean, and then you can pick each other up, and hopefully by then the lineup's at its spot where you're just like 48 and 47 in the middle.
Which would be sick. Oh,
in like the first week of August.
I'd kill for that. If the Mets are 500 in the middle of August, it's game on. Oh, it's a big thunderstorm right now. You got that right now?
Yeah, it's going from Queens to Brooklyn. I hear
That's
it.
pretty sick. No, I heard the thunder about 3 seconds before you did and reacted, which is funny. Devin Williams, by the way, he's pitched in 26 games this year. He has allowed a run in 6 of them. 2 of those, he's allowed 4 and only gotten 1 out. So it's like, like you said, he's really had, and the other time that he allowed more than 1 run, he allowed 2, didn't get an out. So, like, he has a major blow up or he is nails. It's that simple.
And just to bring it all home, as we've updated the last few episodes, the Mets bullpen has a 3.35 ERA, which is the 4th lowest bullpen ERA in baseball.
Crazy.
The only bullpens with a lower ERA than the Mets are the Braves, which we've been going over. And again, watching Didier Fuentes, Robert Suarez, Raisel Iglesias back to back to back was like, damn, that's nasty.
Yes.
And then the Padres with Mason Miller and Jason Adam and Bradley Rodriguez.
Got to be the most heavily invested bullpen in all of sports.
The history of baseball. And then after that, the Red Sox, whatever. Let them get on here. But then it's the Mets, and we're tied with the Rangers, who also were not supposed to have a very good bullpen. And in terms of strikeout rate, again, the Mets are 8th. In terms of strikeout minus walk rate, the Mets are 6th. Like, this is, by all accounts, a legitimately really good bullpen, which is very funny. That's the saving grace of this team so far.
Yeah, the bullpen. Probably the thing that David Stearns has his hands on the absolute most.
Yeah, and it's working. And AJ Ewing sneakily almost got a cycle on Sunday.
Triple away, right?
Yeah, we totally missed that one in the stadium.
I mean, we were living off a Knicks win. Probably still a little buzzed from the night.
Probably. Let's preview the Red Series and then close you guys out with the Knicks corner.
Yeah, we'll keep it short and simple for you guys. Honestly, I'm fucking exhausted.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home runs. So, are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. That's FanDuel.com/podcast to opt in for daily dingers. Make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball. Swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
No, this is a war right now. But pitching matchups this week, we go to Cincinnati, 2 7 o'clock games, and the 12:40 matinee on Wednesday afternoon. Tobias Myers being recalled to start on Monday. So quick turnaround, no off day, but
No David Peterson then.
No David Peterson. I guess he'll be in relief of Tobias Myers, if I had to guess.
Whatever.
I'll get Tobias Myers' minor league game logs right now to see what his pitches have been. Because I think he worked up to about 35 last I checked, but I'm not positive about that. So probably a combination of Tobias Myers and David Peterson against Chase Burns on Monday.
Okay, so that's a loss.
Yeah, and then Tuesday, again, 7:10 against Cincinnati, Christian Scott versus Brady Singer.
Winnable game.
So this is going to be the movable object versus stoppable force, the Mets lineup against Brady Singer. And then Wednesday, 12:4, the fun one, spin game. Nolan McLean versus Nick Lodolo.
Ooh, good spin. And we're facing Nick Lodolo again, man.
Nick Lodolo eviscerates the Mets. Actually, before I get Tobias Myers' pitch count by outing, I want to get Nick Lodolo's career stats against the Mets because it's fucking ridiculous.
Were we talking with Trevor May on here? Was I talking to Trevor May? I remember him always bringing up, I remember him bringing up in a conversation that involved me and maybe you, that Nick Lodolo, the Mets have no fucking clue what to do against him. That, like, Lindor, when he was leading off, normally comes into the dugout and is like, he has something, right? He sees something on a guy. He has a lot of information. When Lodolo pitches, like, good luck, guys. This guy's insane. Although, I think Soto owns Lodolo.
Nick Lodolo, 3 starts against the Mets, 17 2/3 innings. He's only given up 3 earned runs. 2 of them are on home runs. And he has 11 strikeouts per 9 and a 5.5 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio.
That's the Nick Lodolo that, like, everyone got excited about when he was a prospect. It's like, this guy could be a frontline starter as a lefty. Against the Mets, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, and he's mostly struggled this season, but it's a blister thing that keeps coming back for Lodolo and makes him not able to trust his curveball as much as he normally would like to. But again, against the Mets, probably won't matter. Even in these struggles, he decimated the Mets on Memorial Day. So.
Yes.
But this, again, we just did this with the Cardinals. You just lost a series to the Reds. If you want to get back in the playoff picture, you have to beat teams like the Reds. You just
no Ellie,
have to.
right? Still
Noelle, I believe. I'll double check to see when he's expected to come off the injured list, but he should still be out. And so much now we just got to play the Braves at Ronald Acuna Jr. You should try to beat this Reds team without Ellie De La Cruz.
It would be sick if we could steal a win against Chase Burns. That would like almost make me like the meme, like, oh fuck, you're gonna make me believe.
It did feel like that against this Braves team where you're able to win the game on Friday. You're like, oh, nice. Now we only need to win 1 out of 2 to win the series. Like, it's just Nick style. Chip away, chip away, chip away. Just stop quitting. If the Mets can just win the next 5 series, you get back to only 2 games below 500 then.
And then that's basically 500.
And then you're exactly the same. You could just play baseball at that point, which is kind of just all we want from this Mets team is to keep playing relatively good baseball.
Anything else with the Reds here to talk about?
I'm trying to quickly still get this
I don't
Nolan
think
McLean
so.
pitches. I'm trying to get Nolan McLean pitches. So his last minor league outing, that
You
was
mean
on
Tobias Myers pitches?
Tobias Myers, jeez, yeah, my bad. That was on June 11th. So not that long ago in between starts. He got to 36, so I guess expect between 30 and 40. So we'll be probably.
So he's
3/4.
basically an opener again.
Yeah, he's basically an opener still. Basically just sent him down to kind of almost stretch him out.
Oh God. So
Wow,
we're
that
gonna see a lot of David Peterson.
That game he opened for Jack Wenninger. Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, we definitely owe you guys a fat prospect report, but we've been consumed by the Knicks recently, so we're gonna have a nice prep session for a prospect report soon.
Yeah, I think just for a heads up, this is gonna be the last Knicks corner of the year.
Yeah, I mean maybe after Thursday.
Yeah, maybe after Thursday. Just a quick like, hey, we went to the parade. This was fun. So for those of you who hate the Knicks corner, you won't have to hear it much longer. For those of you who love the Knicks corner, sorry, it'll be back when the Knicks go on a run again next year. But this is the best Knicks corner of all time.
No, the Knicks won the NBA Finals, and
Yeah.
I'm 10 feet tall. Like I can't be stopped. Like we had a fun night trying to watch on Saturday because Mark and our other buddy Drew went to the bar that we've been watching Knicks games at for 5 years.
Shout out Eamon.
And couldn't get in. Like because it's also a Brazil soccer bar, the football factory. We just literally couldn't get in. Like you got there 10 minutes before me, and I got trapped for 2 hours outside.
And I think Drew got there at 5:30. Me and DC got there at 5:45. And
I got
you
there
got
at like 6:05.
At 6:05, and the difference between me and DC arriving and you was you waiting online the entire time for 2 hours and basically not getting in.
Yes, but again, shout out our buddy Clay who came to the rescue. Got to watch the game in his place. That had just
Shout out Clay and Leah.
and Clay and Leah, of course. Picture perfect view of the Empire State Building. We just got everyone together, and we got to watch the Knicks like win the finals, and it was
Champions of the world.
it was so weirdly serene to watch the Knicks fall behind again, go 3 for their first 19.
So bad.
And not really be stressed out that the game could have possibly been over and just kind of be able to drift into the fourth quarter with a lead and with the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands. OG Anunoby was a non-factor. Karl-Anthony Towns barely played. Landry Shamet finally hit 1-3, but the role players did nothing. Mikal Bridges was invisible again, and it really was kind of beautiful for this multi-year Knicks run to end with a championship with Jalen Brunson just being the hero.
45 points in the finals in a game where the Knicks scored 94. He basically had half of the points the team scored.
A clinching game. The Knicks also like the kill factor with this Knicks team. Not letting any opposing team win an elimination game, not facing an elimination game on their own. We're already still getting spins from the national media trying to degrade this Knicks team, pretend that it was the other team that lost the series rather than the Knicks that won it. If you guys are Knicks fans, I hope you still are if you're listening to this. And if not, if you guys maybe just like your hands are dirty, you're doing the dishes, you're at the gym, you're in the middle of your set, and you don't want to click forward. Yeah, thank you so much. But we just watched one of the most dominant and impressive playoff runs in any major sport in the history of all of them.
Ever. The Knicks won 9 straight road playoff games. That's not supposed to happen in these kind of sports. You're not supposed to, like, baseball is probably the least home field advantage of any sport, right?
Yeah, I mean, not really, because you have a tangible home field advantage in baseball.
I guess because there's like a physical difference.
You
of like
you
what
literally
your field
hit
looks like.
last. If you guaranteed the last shot for home court in basketball, I would like
True.
that.
Yeah, true. but I do feel like in terms of like environment and atmosphere, it's got to be the one that's like the least effective.
I don't know. I kind of think the NFL.
Ooh, yeah. I guess I was thinking just college football more so. NFL home games, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't know if it matters. Maybe it's just like routine matters, but like I heard Zach Lowe do this on his podcast, and this is a fun reminder to let everyone know that we only started the Knicks corner as a bit because Shaw Fantasy blocked me on Twitter for yelling at him that the Mets actually are okay with running the scoring position. He just had a little temper tantrum, but because when they started Mets corner last year, that was when the Mets completely fell apart, which was exactly a year ago, and then we started the Knicks corner, and the Knicks won the finals.
Literally couldn't have played better basketball. They couldn't have possibly played a second of better basketball.
And that's where I was going with this. Zach broke it down in his podcast last week about how, like, to put in perspective how dominant this Knicks run has been. To get anywhere near the Knicks playoff net rating, they have to go basically through the Warriors teams with Kevin Durant, the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe in their championship hangover year, and it's like and like there was a Magic Johnson like Lakers team on there. Like that's
Showtime.
That's the rarefied air the Knicks just did. And again, the Knicks did it especially in that Game 5. I want to call it out specifically. Because people were trying to run the narratives like OG Anunoby being the MVP, Cat was the most important player. Those two guys, as has happened the last few years of the Knicks, nothing about those guys specifically, anything wrong with them, but it's just they are secondary, tertiary stars. Like OG Anunoby is the greatest role player the NBA has ever seen.
He's so good.
And Karl-Anthony Towns is fucking sick, but sometimes he just kind of loses control. And the thing over the years that brings the Knicks back and is what makes the Knicks so great and is what is the entire driving force, and he's one of the best players in the NBA, is Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
And he continues not to get the respect to win the championship in the arena that Becky Hammond's jersey hangs.
Oh, so sick.
When he was too small
nice
to be the 1A in the championship team. And
shout out Kendrick Perkins for scoffing at that as soon as it got said, by the way.
He went so 1A in that, like, the Knicks had nothing. 3 for 19 to start.
Do you remember when we saw him, because I think he made his first 3-pointers of the game.
Yeah.
Early on in the game, and me and you just looked at each other like, oh, he's in demon mode. Like, he is saying, we're not losing this game, and I'm not allowing it. I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I'm not missing. And he went 14 from 27 from the field. That's unbelievable.
No, he went all-time athlete performance, and I still feel like people not in the Knicks sphere do not respect him for what actually just happened on the court in front of our eyes.
I will say, and this is probably just because you weren't watching this stuff, national media being like ESPN SportsCenter, glazing the Knicks, all the flowers, all the credit. So maybe it's the deeper basketball, like bigger names.
I just still have the chip on my shoulder.
You do have, you know what? You're allowed to keep that chip because we're champions. The New York Knicks are champions of the NBA for the first time in 52 years, which is so ridiculously amazing to say. The Knicks won a game where Karl-Anthony Towns fouled out. OG Anunoby had 5 fouls. Errol Hukporty got minutes. Like,
oh, yeah, they did. Knicks are 2-0 in Hukporty games in the NBA Finals.
Hukporty was +4 in those 2 minutes. The Knicks won by
Jeremy
4.
Sohan was on the court.
Jeremy Sohan +1 for his... He was on the court for so little, though, that he didn't actually register a minute. 0 minutes, technically.
That's fair. He played a second. And Jose Alvarado immediately on the plane. He's in the Puerto Rican Day Parade on Sunday in the city. Like, it's just... This team embodies New York so well. And there are the thoughts because, I mean, you guys know how much of fanatics and freaks Mark and I are about the Mets. We've always kind of both in the camp where the Mets aren't like, we're not fans of the Mets. The Mets are our lives.
Yes.
We're obsessed with this team.
It's our jobs.
Yeah, partially that too. But it still always comes back to the fact that the Mets like live, sleep, eat, breathe Mets. The Knicks are absolutely my second favorite team.
Yes.
And growing up, it was fun because of how obsessed I was with the Mets to pass time with the Knicks, watching Antonio McDyess and Jerome James in the winter, and being like, I'm gonna watch this team and cheer for this team.
Nazi Muhammad.
Nazi Muhammad. Man, Nazi Muhammad had some moments. Jared Jeffries, your boy.
Jared Jeffries is all time one of my least favorite players of all time because I do love to hate some guys on my own team, but like we were just naming guys last night. Me, you, shout out SRS Mike.
We had a session.
We had a session of like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah,
where it was just like Chris Duhon, Moochie Norris, Chris Copeland.
Dude, Mike Sweetney, David Lee, Nate Robinson, Jamal Crawford. Like, it was Mindaugas Kuzminskis, Damian Dodson, Alonzo Trier.
Iman Shumpert.
Iman Shumpert was rolling around
Jordan
the city in his
Hill.
Knicks jersey. And, like, Jeremy Lin was out there. Like, it was Patrick Ewing was sobbing. Like, he felt like
He
like
said
his demons got let out.
He was like, we finally did it. I finally got one. He said, I finally got one. It's like, Patrick, I love you. You didn't do anything, but like, that's so cool.
Bro, he was rolling around. He was in sweats, like getting off the bus with the team. Like he was part
So
of this
cool.
too. Like it's so cool. The Knicks have actually weirdly developed this fraternity where, as toxic as James Dolan is and has been, and always will be, and like the fact it was nice that we won the road because Oak got to be there and watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
that
got
was
to
cool
see
as
it,
fuck.
yeah.
Like, that was sick. Like this, the way that they've invited everybody back in. Mindaugas Kuzminskis was posting about the Knicks.
That guy like got like the most minuscule minutes ever on the Knicks, and he's celebrating the Knicks winning. The guy's out of basketball.
Dude, when the Knicks had to throw Timofey Mozgov into the mellow train, I was crestfallen as like a
couldn't believe
13-year-old.
that.
I was like, damn.
I was
let's give him
so
good minutes.
hurt when Danilo Gallinari and Wilson Chandler. I was like, they're not going to be a part of this team with Melo. That hurts.
When they got Ronaldo Balkman to throw, and I was like, all right, he could be Dino 3.
Well, Ronaldo Balkman drafted by the Knicks originally.
traded immediately.
University of South Carolina legend. No, he started. He had a good year or two on the Knicks. Horrible.
Even, like Mitch being the longest
lived in
tenured
Westfield,
Knick.
by the way.
Ronaldo Balkman?
Ronaldo Balkman lived in Westfield. Yeah.
That's creepy, you know that. But like Mitch being the longest tenured guy in this team, and Mitch being the only member of the championship Knicks that was drafted. I guess Deuce also.
Those were the
Yeah,
only
Deuce
two
was
guys.
drafted.
Those were the
Yeah.
only two guys.
And
And
Mitch
Ariel
had-
Hukporty.
And Ariel Hukporty. Mitch had by far his best game of the series.
I mean,
I guess Kolek was drafted just by the Knicks too.
But he
like,
didn't
guys who were
play.
actually playing.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Mitch finally had the game that we were expecting Mitch to have after the way he played against the Spurs over the regular season this year. And then, just quickly to end this out, fuck Victor Wembanyama.
What a fucking dork.
What a child. Like, what a little temper tantrum. To leave the court, to not congratulate Jalen Brunson, to be a brat in the post-game interview. Like, are you joking?
What do you
dude?
say?
Like,
See you never?
he's trying to be built up to be the face of the league, and he probably will be one day because he's, like, ridiculously fucking good. It's kind
So
of like
talented.
It's kind of like playing against 6 guys when he's on the court defensively. It's, like, terrifying. But to fold like he did, to completely fail in such dramatic fashion, and to not give any credit to the team that beat you. And shocking for him, all the Knicks did this year was beat the Spurs in regular season too.
Owned them. The Knicks owned the Spurs all year long. They beat that ass.
I want to be petty when the Spurs come to the Garden next year. We're raising the banner the first night of the year, of course.
Yes.
We
NBA
have the,
Cup, right?
We've got the NBA Cup banner waiting in the wings, and the second the Spurs come to MSG, I don't know if the schedule's out yet. I don't know what the fuck the NBA does with that shit. But
Another
like,
ring ceremony.
I want the Spurs to watch us raising the NBA Cup banner in their face.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Because they just, again, it's about being like young and dumb like they are. Like Mitch Johnson, their head coach, he's never been in this situation either. He seems like the moment was too big for him as well.
He shit down his leg in terms of situational game calling. He made every wrong decision possible.
I definitely woke up still feeling myself on Sunday, and I was just tweeting rap lyrics on Victor Wembanyama quote tweets.
100 shots.
How you miss a whole 100 shots, you ain't a killer, you still learn how to walk. Like, about him celebrating against the Thunder.
Like the way that he went about his play and how he carries himself on and off the court, and like the cheesy bullshit that he's always done with the monks and the reading and the in the Gramercy Park and playing chess and doing all that fucking nonsense.
And then I it would have been hilarious if the Spurs actually pulled that game out, which of course they couldn't because they have no winning DNA in anybody in person on that team right now.
A double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, I think, of every game the Knicks won.
I think a double-digit lead at some point in every game this series for the Spurs.
Yeah.
But to have watched the situation unfold where Victor Wembanyama clearly committed a technical foul on Jalen Brunson.
Flagrant, yeah.
Flagrant foul. And it was not called. And there was a bit of a temper tantrum by the Knicks when that wasn't called.
Which was fair.
And I had a massive temper
Oh,
tantrum.
you apologize to the people in the room.
And I needed to because I had
nuts.
I had a panic attack about that. I jumped off the couch and I was screaming because that was egregious. And I thought in the moment Jalen was injured, I watched the whole thing flash before my eyes. But For Jalen to come back in that fourth quarter and be the efficient player he was, that ISO possession on the left side against Wemby, that's getting pushed around and around and around.
Gross.
I'm gonna see that every night when I shut my eyes for the next month.
It was cool. Iman Shumpert, after the game, talking with Windhorse and all that, was saying how, like, both credit to Knicks and about what the Spurs need to do to fix themselves, because clearly the Spurs are a good basketball team. There's no doubt.
This Spurs team will get one.
This Spurs team is going to get one, if not multiple. Like,
Yeah.
While the Knicks window, I don't know if it's as long. Like, the Spurs window is forever. They're all 22 years old. It's insane. But, like, he was talking about how the difference between Brunson and Wembanyama, even just from a makeup standpoint, of how Brunson's got his shot. He knows that when the team needs it, he can go to this part of the floor, find his shot, do his drawing some contact, play tough, and he's going to get a bucket no matter what. Because Wembanyama doesn't have that. He
Not
played
yet.
the game in the fourth quarter, every single game. He played tight. He did not know what to do, and the moment was too big for him.
And again, I think it's because only his third season in the NBA. The NBA, I think, more than all of the other major sports, you do have to go through it before you win it.
LeBron went through a lot.
Yes, Jordan went through a lot as well. Like, everyone
Kobe
has
too.
to do that. Kobe too, 100%. Kevin Durant was able to skip that for different reasons. But, God, that guy picked the Nets over the Knicks.
He did blow a huge lead in the playoffs before going there.
God.
Thank God
That
we're
all
not the
these things
fucking
happen.
Nets.
The day that Kevin Durant signed with the Nets, I was so sad. That was like 2 days before I was moving out of Ohio, like come back to New York, and I was just like, how could this have happened? I remember getting the notification. I was with my friends who weren't that into sports, and I was like, Nick signed Julius Randle. What the fuck is this life?
Yeah, that hurt.
But like, it was the beginning, and like just paving the way for all the Jalen stuff. Like my YouTube algorithm gave me a gift on him on Friday morning where it showed me the Bill Simmons, Ryan
So
Russillo
good.
reaction to Knicks signing Jalen Brunson. And to listen to the comments from a few years ago about how the Knicks were viewed and how the Knicks were portrayed fairly and justly in national media.
So fair.
And now the way that Jalen Brunson has completely changed this entire franchise perspective. He changed so many people's lives in New York.
Dude, he changed James Dolan. James Dolan was almost
Doesn't deserve it.
almost silent for the entire run, the entire success of the Knicks over the last few years. He said his stupid comments that he did, of course, because he's James Dolan. He can't help himself. But, like, James Dolan stepped away from being so fucking involved in the team, and what do you know? The Knicks win an NBA Finals. They win a championship almost instantly.
And again, trying to bring this back to the Mets because we're still doing a Mets podcast right now. It does make me think about the It does make me think about the Wilpon times a little bit more. It kind of does make me think about 2015 of being like, it was so fun to win in spite of James Dolan. And
So
it was
sick.
It was so bizarre. Like Leon Rose gave his first press conference ever.
Which is he spoke to the media.
Like there's so much weird shit about the Knicks. And I guess we're gonna figure that out. Fred Katz said he has a book coming out, which I'm excited for when it actually does happen. But like it doesn't. I still don't think it's even hit me yet.
Oh, no, I think the parade's going to be the time where it hits me. I find myself watching, like, videos and reels, and, like, that's when I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, remember this? I didn't actually even kind of remember how the game ended yesterday. When Wemby missed that final shot, I blacked out.
Jalen Brunson wasn't on the court when the Knicks won the championship.
I know.
It was just such a weird, choppy finish. Like, the whole thing was strange. Like, the Knicks didn't even face an elimination game.
No.
This whole postseason.
Didn't come close.
This team is awesome. I'm so happy the Knicks wrapped it up. But I'm just sad we can't watch them again.
Yeah, I'm sad we can't keep talking about them.
I know. There was a funny TikTok I saw today about this dude being like, I know the Knicks won and everything, but, like, I really like hanging out with my friends on Monday and Wednesday.
I know, right?
It's like, can we keep doing that?
Like, pretty much everyone outside of, like, me, you, and a couple other people, it's like we can hang out Monday, Wednesday. Most people can't really do that on Monday, Wednesday night.
No, for sure not. But it's just this was so fun. I love this Knicks team so much. I can't wait to be a part of the parade on Thursday. Like we all kind of just like I don't know, New York sports. Like there's so many teams, but nothing is like the Knicks. And like the Giants 1-2. We don't care about the Giants. The Yankees have the 1. Couldn't care less. I don't know what's ever going to happen to the Mets. But this does make me think about like if that time comes for the Mets, how it's going to feel.
Oh, I will be hysterically crying. I will be
cried
overcome
multiple
with emotion.
times during this Knicks run. Like,
I
don't
didn't,
even
I
know
didn't
what
get
I'm
a
gonna do for
crying.
the
I
Mets.
didn't get a crying, but I got the shakes and I got the overwhelming joy where I'm like frozen. Because I saw the videos yesterday of us reacting to the games. I didn't even know that I did half the things that when me, you, and Clay were jumping and hugging after the Knicks won, I looked up to the sky and I started screaming. I didn't know I did that.
Shout out the Knicks Film School. Sometimes I kind of feel like they're our twin in the Knicks world.
Very much so, yeah.
And shout out like Jonathan Macri's like so locked into this, and his video reactions People were like,
So
if
sick.
you guys have seen, people were like yelling at him for being performative, and I was like, if you ever listen to that podcast, that guy's not performative
Not at all.
And shout out to Andrew Claudio, the homie,
Love
producer
Andrew.
extraordinaire. But like they both sobbed on stream. So and that's something we don't do. And that's something I don't think we'll ever do.
I can't.
Is live stream the games like
Can't
that.
do it. I'll
I just
be at
can't
the
do
games
that.
when it's the Mets. I have no choice.
I'll either be at the games, we'll be together, we'll be with our friends, we'll just be in my living room. But like I can't do that. And the fact that they did that as much as they did this series, and they had such pure, genuine reactions, that's really cool, especially for Knicks fans who might not be in the city and like not be around the kind of energy that the city was able to give us during this run. And being on the streets yesterday was, again, I'll just use the same word, surreal.
It's a core
talking to-
memory. I'm going to
No.
tell my children, like, of course, I'm going to tell my children about the Knicks, like, winning the NBA Finals, but I will tell them about, like, that night. Like, the pictures that we took will be shown to the kids, the stories, the videos, like, everything. It is going to be a huge part of, like, hopefully my children's learning of how to be a Knicks fan.
Yeah, and it was just it's so cool to be involved in that. And it was like see my parents, like they're coming to the parade on Thursday. Like this whole thing is so special, and I'm so happy it's etched in memory forever. And it's like that comeback is forever. Like Jalen Brunson is forever. Like Victor Wembanyama is forever.
Forever hated. Holy shit. And,
Like it's
yeah. I mean, I guess kind of wrap
Jose
it up here.
Alvarado.
Yeah, oh, God. Did you see his thing? He's like, I'm going to tell my kids I scored 40 points tonight.
Dude, he was like, man, I'm from the trenches, and I got a ring with the Knicks.
He's like, are you kidding me? So cool.
I walk past the project that Victor Jose Alvarado grew up in every day.
Dude, Tyler Kolek got the fucking mink from Clyde. He gave him a full mink. Like, that's crazy.
He's like, I got a name in the group project.
The last thing I was gonna say is, unlike Victor Wembanyama, give some more credit to the other team. Dylan Harper is so ridiculously good.
No, he's going to be a stud.
He's gonna be like a top 10 player in the NBA.
Stephon Castle, just to use a Clyde term, unflappable.
Yeah.
Even in the game that he really couldn't find a shot whatsoever, that putback dunk at the end of the game,
Crazy. That was one of the most important shots they took all series.
that was genuinely one of the most impressive pure basketball plays I've ever seen in my life. He didn't miss a free throw like almost the entire series. Like this Spurs team is going to be together and be really good for a very long time, but they're never, ever, ever going to have won the 26 championship.
Nope. And just to tie it back to the New York Mets, it was a long journey for the Knicks to get here. There was bumps in the road. There was moments where you did doubt the process. You doubted what was going on.
Big time.
When you
Change the coach.
Yeah, change the coach. Change the coach. Change the coach. But if you get the right people in place, you get a good process, and you get some synergy, you get some cohesion, you get people to buy into what's going on, you can make this happen, especially in a sport like baseball.
Yeah, it's just it does make us all realize, again, a lot of you guys out there, Knicks are probably number one. I'm happy to admit that I love the Knicks, but they're just not my number one.
No.
Never will be. But I love the Knicks are my number one in the winter.
Always number one in the winter.
And it just feels special for New York to have done this, but it felt so bad for the Knicks for so long.
Very long.
So I don't think you're ever, while it does feel like this, you're never as far away as you probably think for something like this.
I mean, if you would have told me in 2020 that the Knicks would win an NBA Finals in 6 years, I would have been like, I would have jumped off the roof.
See, when we were in that game in Miami and Jalen Brunson was alone in the second half trying to do anything possible against the Heat. And shout out to Eric Spoelstra. He was so aware of how good this Knicks team was. He was telling
Very
everybody.
aware.
But it's
One of the greatest coaches ever.
Longest tenure in the NBA.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. But you just can't. You can never ever take away from the Knicks team. We'll remember for the rest of our lives.
New York Knicks, NBA champions. That's the final Knicks corner, probably for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
For a
Yeah.
very, very long time. Thank you guys for sticking with us through the Mets and
appreciate
Knicks talk. We are back to strictly being a Mets podcast till the end of the baseball season. Make sure you are subscribed to us over here on YouTube if you
got
want to see
Frankie.
that. Oh, we have Frankie?
Won the series.
No, good. I completely forgot, honestly. Knicks corner completely blocked me out. Give me some Frankie before I tell you to subscribe.
Here comes Frankie Peppers.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? Mets win 2 out of 3. Good stuff. You know that's not what that's not what we're really focusing on here, boys. What a beautiful season by these New York Knicks. I was at a bar watching the game because I don't get cable in my house. It's too expensive. Everything is too expensive nowadays, especially cable. I'm not paying $150 a month to watch True TV. But the energy in that bar was incredible. We got a little crazy. Took some tequila shots.
Whoa.
Feeling it today, gentlemen. Don't get old. But boys, guys. What a beautiful time. I hope you had a great time in New York City. I hope that you destroyed some school buses. I heard that they were actually planted as hey, you guys go crazy on these and don't destroy anything else. So that remains to be seen. But I hope you're doing well, boys. Savor this moment, love it, enjoy it, and maybe some of that good orange and blue luck will rub off on another team this year, because taking 2 out of 3 from Atlanta is pretty good, gentlemen. All right, I'll talk to you boys soon. Let's go Mets. Let's go Knicks.
Love hearing from Frankie. Let's go Mets. Let's go Knicks. James' camera died, so I'm going to wrap
Perfect
it
timing.
up. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Listen to us Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow James on social media at
James Giano.
Yeah, I couldn't see that you were drinking water there. Camera's
Yeah, it's
off,
fine.
so it was bad timing on my part. I'm Draft Nick Mark. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Mets.